You guys, this is a recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 11, makeups, slip ups, cover ups. And y'all, this episode did not serve, it did not deliver, it did not give. I am doing my best to hold it down for you guys to give you this cute little recap. But these girls are a little bit dry, a little bit boring. I feel like we are recycling the same plot, the same situations, the same conversations, and I just miss Nene Leakes. I miss Portia Williams. I just think the girls need to be recasted because comparing Real Housewives of Atlanta to the Real Housewives of New York, who just came out just a week ago, these girls got to do better. These girls got to do better. So we open up the episode with Drew. She walked and stormed off from the table, feeling super emotional, in tears, because Miss Sheree is picking on her about this little lawsuit that's only $1,000. First of all, why is this a plot? But I feel like it needs a little bit more development to really get into what it's really about. We do get some hints, some tip offs about it being more than just about the money. Maybe a speculation, it involves her husband and his behavior towards that person, but Drew is emotional about it. So Drew's outside emotional. Sheree follows her, try to offer some comfort. Of course, Miss Kenya Moore and I believe Sanya follows her out to try to help be a third party. But honestly, Sheree is doing her best. She's trying to offer her kindness, some sort of support to kind of dead the issue. But Drew, she likes to get into a little situation with everybody at this point. So Drew was responding in a way that, Sheree was gonna be chill Sheree. Sheree was close about to check a boo real quick, okay? Let's not forget our girl Sheree has it in her to check a boo, okay? So it's not getting anywhere, and I just like, for me, that moment was saved it for me was Miss Kenya Moore offering that, there's 8 ladies on this trip. We could all split up to give you that $1,000 that you need to cover that lawsuit to make it go away. But Drew says it's not even about the money. It's more than that, which is some sort of indication that it's a deeper issue that we don't know about it. But Drew is not being transparent at this moment to really share because probably obviously she's not feeling safe to do so. So y'all, I'm just trying to get with this. This is our first night in Portugal, and these girls are already crying. And Candy is not with the whole situation at all. She feels like Drew's doing the most, which is why she said and seen, which I do agree. I feel like, these girls are trying to create a situation where, it's not fun at the end of the day. Like talking about each other's lawsuits, at least make it spicy. Let's get some real tea on it. So it wasn't doing what they thought it was doing. So Drew, she gets it together, Woosa, and she goes back in for dinner. And Sanya, she's offering her 2 cents, saying that as women we should offer like respect. And Shady Kenya Moore says that there's a jar for your 2 cents over there. And Sanya, you could read her face that she's picking on these little jabs. Kenya tries to soften the blow by saying, I love Sanya. That's why I mess with her. But I feel like Sanya does not like to be messed with like that, okay? And I'm sensing that soon we're going to have a blow up between these two, okay? So, back to Drew, focusing on Drew. Drew has had an issue with every single one of these ladies, I believe. Every single one of them, even from previous seasons who are no longer on this show. But the ladies are kind of sensing that this has nothing to do really with the lawsuit. They are picking up on signs that this may has to do something with her husband. And we get a confessional from Drew. She opens up and shares in the confessional that she does have trust issues, which makes it harder for her when she leaves the town and leaving, Ralph alone, that she's unsure really with him. And just overall with the whole situation, it seems like how her feelings and attitude towards Ralph is spilling over to her friendship towards the ladies that she interact with. So we need to get to that. Let's fast forward. Let's at least get through it. But I'm not having fun on this girls trip. I'm waiting for the fun. Definitely for sure. So back to the table. Candy, the girls get on Candy saying that she's not available for the group. She's been booked and busy. She has concerts, she has award shows to attend, and the ladies are letting Candy know that she's not present and they just hope that she's taking time for herself. Now, Candy, she loves a bag, she loves a check, so she wants to keep on with growing her empire. But at some point, too much money for what? Like, you got to enjoy a little bit of it. I think we do. It's just we don't get to see the opportunity for her to do so because she's always involved with all her other friendships. I feel like Candy is that good friend that will always be there for her friends. We see that later in the episode, actually. But overall, I feel like, Candy, a lot of people count on her. And so she feels that responsibility and she acts on that responsibility by continuing to grow her empire, make sure everyone is fed in her household, okay? So I don't blame her. I feel like this is just small talk. But let's move on. I feel like we keep hearing that over and over again, and I am tired. I am tired of that, okay? So it's the next day in Portugal, day two. And yeah, it's just muggy. It's just rainy. It's just cloudy. It does not feel like vacation. It feels like, cuddle up in bed and call it a day situation, ordering some food. But these girls are in Portugal, so they're gonna make the most out of the whole situation. Now, this group cannot be on time for nothing, okay? So they were supposed to be out and about during or during the morning in Portugal, but oh my god, not only until like close to the afternoon the ladies were ready to go do their first activity, but there was an incident. They were all waiting for Kenya Moore. Kenya was last one to be ready, and unfortunately for her, she slipped and fell, and it was so bad. I felt so bad for her. I felt bad for her back. I'm like, oh no, I felt that. I did not enjoy that at all because I felt that pain. And so the ladies come out, production comes out too as well to help and assist Kenya. And unfortunately for her, she has to be taken away to the hospital. She did ask Candy to go with her, and Candy rolls with Miss Kenya Moore, so she goes with her. And unfortunately, this is unfortunate when, accidents like this happen during a girls' trip because while we all feel bad for Kenya getting into this accident, on a typical set, that would be a cut and a pause in production until further notice till the star is feeling well and better to film. Now, that does not happen here on reality TV, especially with the Housewives. They instead, continue on with production. Now, you have Candy and Kenya off to the hospital. So not much, can be covered or really reported on them. And then you have the rest who have to entertain themselves and the viewers as well, which typically, depending on the group, can go well. But the fact that you have Candy and Kenya, the pot steerers or the ones who really get stuff going, separated from Sheree, Drew, Marlo, Sanya. It's not much gonna go on. Not much is gonna happen. Oh, I forgot Moneta. Not much gonna happen. So it's quite unfortunate, and you can tell that's gonna be a turn in the girls' trip because this is not an ideal girls' trip. You want to have fun. You don't want to have to deal with pain. So, of course, now that the girls are separated and, Kenya and Candy are in the hospital in a foreign country, they got to deal with those dynamics. And that is actually it was kind of hard to see as well because we do get a FaceTime later of them two and their stay in the hospital. And it's just like you see Kenya on a gurney and she's like in a line, it's packed, and Candy's there for support. There's no one who speaks English. They found one person who's able to communicate to get aid, but it's so unfortunate, and it's like, oh, that's so terrible when that happens, and it sucks. And I know it sucks, especially. Can you imagine the comfort levels for these ladies? Mind you, Candy is being such a good friend because she actually has to leave the trip early. She does have concerts to perform, so she's spending her final moments in vacation in the hospital being a good friend. And these girls have some nerve to say that, oh, Candy don't do stuff for herself. Well, she can't. She can't. So it's so unfortunate. And so we move on, and I did not like how we had a little moment with Courtney and Drew. Courtney, of course, has to add her little 2 cents. I don't know if it was at first by accident that we get to see what's really in her heart, but I don't trust Courtney. Courtney had to say this is this is Kenya's karma for being a mean girl. Kenya, Summer Moore. And I'm like looking at her, and thank you, Drew, for saying what needed to be said. She's like, oh no, not that, not karma. And then you see that, Courtney tries to walk it back because she's not getting support from Drew. But in Drew's confessional, she feels like that don't sit well with her and her spirit, and as it shouldn't, because you really want to say that after someone was experiencing such pain. I felt the pain for her. I can imagine in person the pain that Kenya was in, and I don't want Kenya to see this. Kenya can skip on this because I know Kenya gonna read poor baby, poor Courtney, all the way down. Okay, please, can someone block Kenya from seeing that, from Courtney saying those comments, because it's not gonna be safe for Courtney in these streets. Okay, so seriously, now these ladies are in a smaller group, so they gotta, do what they gotta do to make the show fun. So this is Miss Charade's, healing trip, girls trip. So a part of what they're gonna be doing is that they're gonna go to the market, and they're gonna have a chef walk them through the marketplace and help select to prepare items for their meal. So that was quite an experience. I enjoyed that. I never seen that a chef walk through with you and pick out everything to prepare. I thought it was pretty cool, and he was making sure there was a wide variety of food selection for the ladies. I know Marlo, she was requesting catfish, and that was quite hilarious. They're like, no, they don't have that here. So I had a funny little moment with them when they were reflecting on the rabbit with the BBL. I thought, okay, a little laughter. That was a cute little jokey joke. But guys, I'm like, where is this going? The ladies are shopping, and it's like not much is going on. It's very lackluster. They pair off into their groups to venture off in the market, but the group is not grouping. Like, they're not being interesting, and it's like forced friendship. Like, it was giving very forced to me. I was not so much entertained. So, of course, Marlo, after getting the FaceTime from Candy and update from Kenya, she takes it an opportunity to shade Miss Candy, saying that, Miss Candy's supposed to be worldwide, right? So why are they out waiting like a regular schmegular? And to me, I just thought it was a little bit off-putting, even from Moneta's standpoint, that, oh, they deserve VIP, they should be taken care of ASAP. But no, we're all people. People are people. When we all injured, we all have to go to the hospital. It's all the same. You can't think just because you're a celebrity, think that you could cut across the line and feel like you should get care first because you're a celebrity. I just thought that was poor taste. And I'm like, okay, these girls did not have to come back next season. That was not necessary. And I found that very distasteful, honestly. So even with Moneta defending Kenya and Candy, all the girls are reading Moneta as a person who's just, kissing up to those girls, not having her own foot to really stand on. So they get to the restaurant, and Portugal is beautiful. Portugal had all the views. It's just unfortunate that the weather was not cooperating. It wasn't ideal for vacation, but the girls did the most. They try to keep their spirits up and have a pleasurable experience. So I enjoyed the waiter because when he was talking, I felt like his voice was so relaxing. And that's when I realized me and Miss Marlowe have something in common. What did you guys think of the waiter's voice? I just thought it was just so relaxing, so relaxed. It was like a man's voice. It was giving me, man, my man, you know? So Marlo being happy, she felt like she was at a safe space to share with the ladies some photos from her date. And Sheree takes the opportunity to throw what Kenya had to say about Marlo's date. Kenya refers to Marlo's date as being a Tinder date, And that, triggers Miss Marla, the Marla that's, still in therapy, a work in progress, to throw shade back. Because, Marlo, I feel like she sits on information. So she shares that, what's so funny is that, Courtney actually went on a date with Roy back in 2018. I'm like, oh, this may be too much. That's too much. He dated the whole group now. Three, three ladies. Hmm. That is a little bit awkward. So I wonder how Kenya's gonna take to this news. But the tea was piping hot. So Manera, she's gonna defend Kenya, and she's gonna say about like the whole DM situation. I'm like, why are we repeating this kind of conversation? Are we done with that? Like I thought we were done and through. But luckily we had Sheree to stand up because she they had a whole situation with Martell being in the DM of Kenya. So it's funny that, Manera wants to say and talk about, Marlo's situation with the DMs, finding a man on a DM. So I was done and through with this conversation. I was ready to move on. The girls, are sitting and they're laughing and they're enjoying their meal. And Sheree, she gets a phone call from Martell. And I'm like, this man is back. This man is back and he's holding on strong. So they are flirting on the phone call in front of all the ladies. And the girls, they seem to like Martell for Sheree. And I'm like, okay, if they like it, I love it. But I don't know, I'm not a fan. I feel like Sheree could do so much better. Okay. So I'm already over it. The ladies still have much to do. Sheree, she did arrange a lot of activities for the girls to do to have some sort of moment to happen at least. Okay. So she has also arranged after dinner to go to a pottery class. And I'm like, okay, let's have this moment. But I feel like in that moment, not much was happening, not much was going on. We did get to see Sanya and Manera try to act out to having an iconic moment for the Housewife franchise to see. But it was, okay. And I was happy when it was and seen over and done with because they wish they had a moment such as what they were trying to display. I did enjoy seeing, Kenya and Candy heading home from the hospital after 8 hours being in the hospital. Kenya, her back was fine. Nothing was broken. So that was good news to report. And I was so glad that Miss Candy Yams got her chicken on her way home. So I know she enjoyed that. So I like that it was a happy ending for those two ladies. So now that the night is over, it's only begun. Finally, something is gonna happen. Something is going on. So the ladies have arranged for a lingerie pajama party, but it was really giving pajama. Sheree, she looked good. Actually, Drew looked really good, very sexy in her pajama set outfit. Courtney, she looked good too as well, but I'm not a fan of Courtney. But Candy, she shows up to the event and she's wearing her pajamas. And also Manana wearing her pajamas. So the girls are kiki and laughing, and it's really about a moment of promoting each other's businesses and having support of one another. But the funny takeaway was when they were on Sheree saying like, how are we supposed to use your website? How come when you add this to cart this is not happening? And it's just, I can see the frustration in Sheree's face that she's like over these girls pretending to not know how to shop online when all they do is shop. So it was that kind of moment, and then production leaves, okay? And that's when the girls let loose. And I feel like they were trying to have a bolo moment because the center of focus was about how Drew kissed Latoya, and Drew was in complete denial of it. But I feel like, why would Latoya say that if that nothing close to it happened? But the thing is with Drew is super, super convincing that it made me feel and Marlo feel that that never happened. But then the source of this is Candy. Candy says she saw with her own two eyes that it happened. So I would believe Candy. Candy has no reason to lie on someone like that. What for? She has pretty much it all from an outsider's perspective. But what we hear from Drew is that Latoya was told by Candy to say that about her. And I'm like, why? Candy wants to do work business with you. She's being a friend to you. She's been nothing but kind to you. So I was a bit confused, especially earlier before, Drew, after hearing that Candy is going to be leaving in the morning, that she finds that being the perfect timing for her to express her feelings towards the aunt scene comment. And I feel like, okay, at this point Drew wants to issue with everybody, and at some point Drew have to realize that she is the problem. Like, she is doing too much, but she is going through a lot. So we do get to see a cut in that, and we get to see 3 months in the future where the discussion about Drew filing a divorce from Ralph, and how Ralph feels that Drew has been kissing a woman, but I wonder if it's in reference to Latoya or this new budding relationship, friendship with Drew and Ty, who is Mimi's false ex-bae on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So I'm finally hoping that we're getting some more juice out of these ladies, but I'm telling you, these ladies make us work for it, and I don't know if we here for that. I'm like, I'm through. I'm tired. I'm tired. I feel like it shouldn't be this difficult, and we have seen that when the franchise did a complete recast of the Real Housewives of New York. So I think this may be what is necessary for Real Housewives Atlanta, because I was not feeling this episode whatsoever. I would rate it a 5 even. I feel like these ladies made us work for it. This is not an ideal girls trip. We're not getting much. Whew. But I am excited to recap the Real House of New York. So guys, stay tuned to that. That's going to be posted after this one. So stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Stay tuned, and I love you guys. Goodbye.